Hey, insight number 3 here. This is kind of cool because this particular chapter talks about like a 7th year period of forgiving debt, which I think is kind of cool. It's also, incidentally, where the word sabbatical comes from, like you have a 7-year rest period, a 7-year debt. That's like a 7-year thing. As I talked about in the last one, they had like a specific 7th year. Whether they were all on the same 7th year, I don't know, but there was a 7th year where they would make sure that they had that sort of gospel talk rolled out to all the young people so that nobody missed it out. And every 7 years that happened. But they also did it every day as well, but they made sure that it was like given to everyone so that no one missed out on who they were or what their purpose was as the house of Israel, which I really liked. So let's look at, this one is 15:7-8. So this one's talking about forgiving debt. Now, it goes through very specifically because this is what these books of Moses do, very specifically giving us instructions. So it wasn't about foreigners that had borrowed off you, it was more like your neighbours who were trying to get ahead. People in your family, people that you maybe would be in your wards now, or those kind of places, where they were just trying to get ahead, and the debt that they had to keep taking, there was no way they were ever going to get out of it. Now, we see this, unfortunately, a lot in our poorer areas of church members. For us, especially, we see it a lot in South Auckland, where they fall prey to, I need money, and, we need to pay this power bill because we were all cold. And now, like, the interest on it is so much, and it's crippling. It's not cool that people do that to others, but businesses will do that. Not good ones, but they do that. So, this was a really cool time where you could forgive those debts. So that would be up to you, of course, and how much you were lending and whatever. And, both Dave and I and my husband, we discussed that, we don't really lend. We kind of just give. Like if someone knocks on our door, and we've had this from neighbours, do you have any flour? Do you have any this? Do you have any sugar? Do you have any batteries? Have you got, those little things? We don't lend them, or we don't expect them back, or we don't want money for them. We're blessed with bounty. We just give it to them. It's like, yeah, of course we have some, And as for money, I'm very careful who I do lend money to. But, there are times where you do forgive those debts. But generally, I'll just give it rather than lend it because it just causes a lot of angst. And, so this was a good practice then to forgive that debt, to let others get ahead and to forgive that debt. If you are doing really well and you're doing fine, you don't need that debt. It gets wiped off. Some businesses do this now. Some don't. So, that's just what it is. But anyway. So what does it mean to you to open thine hand wide to those in need? So let's look at the scripture itself. It says, if there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in the land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother. But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth. So it's about sharing of your abundance with those that don't have it. So what does it mean to you to open thine hand wide to those in need? What does that mean to you? So every 7 years is time to help and forgive debts owed to you. So as I already said, wouldn't that be great now? Like, honestly, if that just happened now, no mortgage would be more than 7 years. Wouldn't that be cool? It's just not how our world works, though. And it's not the best fit for today's world. It just is not how our economy works now. However, we can still be wary of and assist those in need. Absolutely, we can. Wary, not afraid of, but aware of, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Whatever that need might be. You are representing Christ in your alms giving. It isn't always about dollars, because it isn't. Often it is kindness, advice, friendship, and loving a neighbour. Sure, a gift of cookies is appreciated. Absolutely it is. However, time spent representing Christ as we minister is a more permanent and lasting influence. So how can you open thine hand wide every day? because we pay a generous fast offering. We had that discussion. I've had that discussion with you guys many times, because we can right now. But we also go about doing good every day. We will share every day when we feel prompted to, and also often when we don't feel prompted to, we'll just share, because that's who Dave and I are. We're just those kind of people. It's a part of our hospitality. And it comes across strange to a lot of people who aren't sort of in that vibe, like they're not expecting it. Our dear real estate agent, as we're selling our house, as you know, so she's like, but you leave me something to eat every time. It's like, of course, like I'll leave her a little bag of protein balls or some like nice dried fruits, and I keep saying to her, if you want a drink, just grab one from the fridge, because we're not here when the open homes are on. She's not used to that hospitality, and she's just overwhelmed by it, thinking how kind it is. And to Dave and I, we're like, well, you're a guest in our home, of course. So not everyone's like sort of feeling of that hospitality. You remember way back, Abraham, and we were talking about him, they had a hospitality code, and it doesn't exist so much anymore. It's now so much, it's all become very me, and you're in a guest in my home, you don't just help yourself. Well, you're a guest in our house, we have food, the purpose is that you eat it. There is drink to be had, you drink it. As long as we have it, we're going to share it. Because that's just how we like to be. We both know what it's like to go without, so we like to share what we have. And I often find that is the case. With those that have gone without, they are so much more willing to share what they do have. Whereas those that have never gone without are a little more clingy to their stuff. So there we go. That's what it is. But just, how can you open your hand wide every day? It's just about being kind and being aware. It's not always about dollars. Sometimes it's just a listening. Just listen. Remember, learn people's names. That helps. There's all sorts of things you can do to help those in need every day. There really is. All right. Elder Uchtdorf, he said, love should be our walk and our talk. Oh, yeah. Love should be our walk and our talk. The oh, yeah was me, not Elder Uchtdorf. But yeah, love should be our walk and our talk. Of course it is. It's not just something that we say. It's something we do. It's, it's us. It should be who we are. As the Abrahamic covenant is to share because we have an abundance. That's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. Anyway. All right. That was insight number 3. Hang around for number 4. We're getting near the end of Deuteronomy. I'll see you there.